So the first thing that I found interesting about Bacche was that Dionysus' mom was tricked into asking Zeus to see him in his immortal form, uh, which ended up burning her to death. That was kind of confusing to me because like I don't know why she would ask to see him in his immortal form when she knew him in his mortal form, and if she was just such a believer, she'd probably realize that she wasn't able to witness a god in his immortal form. So I don't know why she would act that way because she knew it would probably lead to her death. Um, Another thing that I found interesting was the rejection of Thebes to honor a god that was from their city. Um, in this kind of society where everyone was pretty pious and they all believed in the gods, I don't know why it was such a hard thing to realize or to accept the fact that there was a god from their city. I think that'd be kind of like a cool honor that they would have, not just kind of like reject him and say that he's worthless. A value that I think came out of it was a value for the arts. Like theater was kind of coming out and coming into its own during the time that this play was written, and I think this play like kind of like put an emphasis on that, and it's kind of interesting because like years later there'd be a festival in honor of Dionysus, that kind of like where playwrights would kind of give their plays up and like perform them and hopefully win awards and stuff. So I think that was like the value of the arts was an essential message from that. Um, a passage that I found kind of confusing that I actually had to go back and look up what it meant was this quote from scene 3, line 795. It said, "Sooner than I'd suffer a pang of anger, if I were immortal and he a god, I'd offer sacrifice when he goads me." Well, I don't know what pang or goads meant, so I kind of looked those up, and once I realized what those meant, it kind of made a little more sense to me. So it's sooner than I'd suffer like a sudden emotion of anger. So like just feeling that emotion really suddenly. If I were immortal and he a god, I'd offer sacrifice when he like wants me to or makes me or incentivizes me. As far as power goes, I saw there's two kinds of power. There was Pentheus's power. It's kind of like the king or the appointed ruler of Thebes. Um, and that was kind of in conflict with Dionysus' power as a god. Dionysus uh, was able to manipulate people very well because of his god status, and so that kind of like demonstrated what real power was compared to like what the power of man was, going against divine power. Um, why Elvis was on the cover of the play, I think that kind of goes in like the counterculture in resisting natural authority or political authority. uh, Elvis like kind of like led a movement against of counterculture against the United States government and like what U.S. culture was at the time. And I think Dionysus was kind of like resisting Pentheus, and trying to make him look bad or look foolish, by manipulating him in several ways. And then lastly, two questions I have was why does the city refuse to acknowledge Dionysus as a god when they all believe in gods, and and he obviously has the power to manipulate people and kind of influence people in certain ways. And the second question was why did Pentheus have so much interest in this quote unquote stranger that ended up being Dionysus? So thanks.